Shannon gets something. I can never remember.
Is the,
We're spending the funds if
the
they,
opinion
if they,
board
they're
is
not
on here,
responsible,
yes,
but we would ask, so
No.
we can't.
we have to do it. But if it, has it ever been in front of the council?
Reserve.
No.
So, yeah.
So why would we have to do
That's
this?
the agreement of the deal, we are.
Bill?
Really having jurisdiction over what is
Oh,
provided.
right.
So-
I was
That's
gonna,
when it comes in.
I was good, as long as I got you, Bill, before you start.
Anytime.
Ready? I think the opinion and ordinance was never in front of the council before, so why would it have to come up again? Or first, now, if it would, planning and Senate.
Yep.
Call to order the regular common council meeting, Monday, February 1st, 7 PM. Roll call.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Okay, next item is pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Confirmation of appropriate meeting notice.
This meeting was noticed on Friday, January 29th. Agenda is posted at the Post Office Library and City Hall.
Thank you. Council acceptance of agenda.
Also move.
Second.
Any discussion?
One quick question, on the agenda. Under 8B2, reason for, just Bill, I mean, if it never got past planning, why is it on the agenda for council?
Now I understand the question. Because planning doesn't decide, they merely recommend, refer, it's a referral council, so this body still has an obligation to address it. They may decide not to take action, but it does come here.
But what was their?
Why? I mean, why would we address it?
Because, again, you can't die at a commission. They can decline to make a recommendation, they can make a recommendation not to adopt, they can make a recommendation to adopt, but they can't just kill it by, at their level. It comes back here, and we're the legislative body that adopt ordinances.
Okay, but if it was,
In this case, there are a couple that the planning commission does have that authority.
okay, I was gonna say it's done before, that's why, okay,
But
you're throwing
not
me
in, not in
out.
this type of ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
So if I could just piggyback off that question, was there recommendation? Oh, I'm sorry, no pun intended. I really, I didn't mean that. What is their recommendation to council?
Deny.
Denied.
But it does not say that, how it's written, that's why I'm confused.
Well, that'll be the report, actually.
The staff report indicates the.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's
That
it.
was just objecting to the fact that it's on the agenda at all, so.
Yeah.
Once we get to the question, we can discuss it
Thank you.
more, but.
Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion on the accepting of the agenda? Hearing none, roll call.
Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Motion passes. Public appearances for non-agenda items. We have nobody in the audience here. How do we know if somebody out there wants to say anything?
They can all unmute themselves and speak if they wish.
Okay. Doesn't look like anybody's doing that. So we will move on to the.
Hello.
Yes.
This is Greg Martin, educated reporter.
Okay.
I cannot see a Burdick. Is he there?
He is.
In all his glory.
Okay, thank you. And I did not get who was speaking in relationship to the whether the approval of the pigs was proper or not. I couldn't tell. Was that the city attorney?
was, Sam. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's go to the minutes from January 18th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Is there any corrections or additions? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes. Committee reports and Finance Committee.
Yes, finance met this evening at 6:30. I'll make a motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $95,118.91.
I second.
Second.
Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to authorize staff to accept lowest responsible proposal from Commercial Recreation Specialists for the pool slide replacement in the amount of $30,873, which is under the amount that we originally budgeted.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Since you mentioned it, what's the deal? I mean, 60% under what we budgeted, what is it? Is it comparable to what we were planning or something? How did we manage to get it at 60%?
The original estimate, Ann got, it's trying to get budget numbers from someone without actually doing a lot of investigation other than, here's what we have, we need to replace it. So she did her best at getting that number, and then Howard went out and actually met with people on site. And so it is a comparable slide, right, Howard?
Yeah, it is. Okay, we didn't negotiate any of this difference into your bonus for doing that, did we? Thank you, Howard, for getting the 40%. Okay, I was just curious to make sure it was comparable and whatnot. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Braun, We'll come back. Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun.
She's here, but now she's gone. I think she's going to connect back in, maybe. Would be my guess.
Okay. Well, we can say that motion passed by with one abstention. And licenses for record, there was none?
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
There were no licenses, thank you. Okay, let's jump to number 4. Motion to declare Cell Air 185 portable air compressor as surplus.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Still not showing up here.
Langen.
Yes.
Again, motion passes 5 with Sarah missing right now. Motion passed.
Thank you. Motion to accept the highest auction price for sale for the 2013 Dodge Charger in the amount of $4,250, and the high bid for the 2017 Dodge Charger in the amount of $6,725.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is it okay to do both on that? I mean, if someone objects to one or the other, wouldn't you separate the two? Bill?
Why would we object to the highest
I
bidder?
don't know, I'm just saying, you got two different amounts, two different vehicles, I'm just,
Jim? Your team won. Okay, can we move on?
Did you get that, Sam? No. Tammy admitted it. Okay.
Okay. No further discussion on that. We'll take a roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
I was just giving Sarah time to get on.
There's something odd happening with my internet connection this evening, and I'm not sure why, so I apologize, everyone.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt City of Edgerton Resolution 03-21, approving budget transfers and amendments for the year ending December 31st, 2020.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to adopt City of Edgerton Resolution 04-21, approving the assigned fund balance for the year ending December 31st, 2020.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
And I'll make a motion to approve the facade grant for 1 West Fulton Street, which is the Dickinson Warehouse, in the amount of up to $5,000.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes.
And that's it for finance.
Thank you. Planning Commission met last Monday, and everything we did last Monday is on the agenda for tonight, so. If anybody wants to jump on any of them motions there.
No, which one I'm not taking.
Okay, I'll read the first one here. To consider introducing and approving the first reading of City of Edgerton Ordinance 2101, amend section 223045Z to allow mini pigs in residential districts.
This is Ann. I'll make a motion to deny the request to consider the ordinance change.
Is that a second out of Jim?
Yes.
Do we need a motion to deny or just take no action on it?
Either one's appropriate.
Okay.
If no one moves it, then it does die, unlike planning commission.
Okay,
So, but there is a proper motion made and second, so
Okay.
at this point, a vote would be appropriate.
okay, thank you. Any discussion? You got her muted then?
Veronica, if you unmute yourself, you would be able to speak.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi there. I apologize. I wasn't able to attend last week's meeting because of childcare and work issues, but I just think that the city of Edgerton should reconsider the ordinance. I think that this would be an opportunity for the city to draw some positive attention to some up and coming ways that people are having pets in their lives. I think it could draw positive, some positive news our way. I think that it would demonstrate some progressive leadership in our area, and being that we're not far out of Madison, that's probably a good thing. I know the city is working to draw development into our area, and we want a variety of families, but most certainly we want young families, young professionals who are bringing children here. And young families in the younger generation tend to like different kinds of pets and maybe change from the more traditional values that we've had. So I think it's an opportunity for us to open that door for for younger families. It's not the only way, but I do think it could be helpful, and it could definitely bring some positive light to Edgerton. So I guess I just would request that you consider those details. Thank you.
Get something else?
This is Ann. Something that was brought up during the planning meeting was we have had many constituents call many of us and let us know their opinions that they did not want to allow pigs in town due to many different issues. So that's why I am voting no for it. Voting it down, sorry.
Thank you. Don't see anybody else looking like they want.
Is there any particular issues that they addressed that they were communicating were the major concerns?
Yes, pigs are animals that are normally on farms. They're smelly, they dig up yards, they're noisy. They had many, many different things. That's just a small list.
Okay. Some of those things were, discussed in the information that was provided for you, that, the fact that they're smelly was one of the things that was debunked, and not necessarily more noisy than a dog, for example, who might be a barking dog. Digging up yards, I would say, is kind of like, a homeowner's right to decide if that's appropriate for them, especially given that there's a fence that's surrounding them that would change some of the visual aspect of that from the surrounding neighbors. I mean, anything that's new, I think is kind of scary at times for people, but this is something that is really growing across the United States. It's not, something that's just starting here, I guess I would say.
I think it came from planning unanimous, didn't it?
Yes.
I was there, and I believe it was unanimous. Had the same calls, which, like I said before, I don't get very many calls. And the ones I did get were not in favor of it. I know we went through somewhat the same thing with the chickens at one time, so this is something that it may not pass this time, but doesn't mean that it won't pass someday in the future. I just don't think enough people are informed, as you are, Veronica, with what the potential issues are that really aren't as bad as they're made out to be at times. But the concern was getting pigs and then what's next, so.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think we're missing an opportunity to be progressive here, and it's unfortunate, I guess.
Is there anyone else out in the remote areas that wishes to speak? From what we can see on the screen here, no. Any further discussion here at the table? Okay, the motion on the floor is to deny, to amend the section of 22-3045Z. There's no more discussion. Roll call.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes. Motion passes to deny. You want to take it? Go ahead.
I'll move to consider and introduce and approve the first reading of City of Edgerton Ordinance 21/02, amend section 22.721, parens 1A, and 22.304, parens 5A, to allow commercial apartments on the first floor in the rear of commercial structures in the B2 Central Business Districts.
Second.
Any discussion?
I want to thank Casey for bringing it up and getting it pushed through. Very good presentation and planning.
Just wanted to say that it's a great idea, Casey. Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Langen,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Motion passes. The next item is to consider introducing and approving the first reading of City of Edgerton Ordinance 2103, amend section 22.3042E and 22.3045Z to allow beekeeping in all zoning districts.
Also move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have a question. So this is in all zoning districts? What districts are they allowed now? Or is it, which ones aren't they, whichever is the?
They are allowed now in I believe the manufacturing districts, let me get to that page. Currently in Ag B4, which is the suburban commercial district, M1, 2, and 3. Those are manufacturing districts.
No residential?
Correct. They're not, that's the ordinance as it exists today, until you amend it, that's correct. It's allowed only in those districts.
I think there's a lot of people that. So right now, residential, there's no beekeeping.
Correct.
Okay. I think there are within,
Oh, is it going on, you mean?
yes.
Oh, yes,
Okay,
maybe.
maybe, okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood correctly.
All right.
I was glad to see that we would keep it, not just, or that have it not just in residential, because in some large cities, they're encouraging it on the top of rooftops, and there is no reason why a business hypothetically couldn't do it. I mean, not that it's real common, but I was glad to see that we're not just tailoring it at residential.
Okay, is there any other discussion? There was a motion and a second on there, wasn't there?
Yes.
Casey did.
Okay. There's no further discussion. Roll call.
Langen,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Motion passes. And the next item is to consider a preliminary one-lot certified survey map for the city of Edgerton to create 2 lots and 1 outlot east of Marshview Court. Parcel numbers.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Motion passes. And then the last one here is to consider adoption of City of Edgerton Resolution 05-21, approving the final 1 lot certified survey map for the city of Edgerton to create 2 lots and 1 outlot east of Marshview Court. Parcel numbers.
So moved.
Second.
I don't know if anybody heard that, but Jim seconded that.
Second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Motion passes. And that was it for planning, and then redevelopment authority, we met last Monday also and took care of that under finance. The only thing on the item, only item on that agenda that we did was the facade grant for 1 West Fulton Street. So, Tourism Commission.
I can speak to that. The Tourism Commission met January 26th here.
Since Edgerton, Fulton, and Albion all have accounts at the Bank of Edgerton, that's where we voted to establish the commission's account for room tax revenue for the commission to be deposited. And we discussed the process of selecting an entity to promote tourism for the region. Resident Jim Capellan, who was instrumental in getting the commission formed, provided some info to the group, and also will arrange to have Chris Rebout, an Edgerton native who works for the Janesville Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, to speak to us at a future meeting about things to consider as we're selecting an entity. Reps from the Edgerton Chamber of Commerce were in attendance and expressed an interest in being that entity that the commission contracts with. I shared my interest in serving on the commission was to provide some assistance in the near term during a very unique and challenging time for tourism, that maybe we can produce something tangible like a professional video to promote the area's tourism in the near future with a small portion of the early funds that have been collected in 2020 from room tax revenue. And that would take place, or we may accomplish something like that while the larger discussion takes place about hiring an entity this year. And the commission was receptive to that general idea. So we're going to talk about it again when we meet the week of February 22nd. And the commission elected Teresa Johnson, the chairwoman. Teresa's from Coachman's Inn, and I was elected the vice chair. And Ramona might have anything else I might have missed on
I
that.
think you covered it well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Fire District.
Yes, Chief Pickering and also Deputy Chief Russ neither could make this evening's meeting, but I do have some updates from Chief. Chief is reporting that for January 2021 activity, there were 85 911 incidents, 9%, which was 9% over January 2020. He's stating that the department has been very, very busy. At one point, they had 3 incidences going all at once and had a 4th within an hour later. So that just goes to show how busy they were. Sometimes it's, hit or miss. They all come in at once or not for quite a while. He also reported 31 intra-facility transfers. With respect to COVID, an update, all fire and EMS personnel who received their first shot, their vaccine, have received their second. So that is great. Significant events for January, there were 6 significant events. 2 were a fire, 2 were a crash, 1 was a medical situation, 1 was mutual aid. In addition, they are participating in what's called our quote Careers in Action class in cooperation with the Edgerton School, as well as Black Hawk Tech, which started January 21st. And there are 4 Edgerton High School students. There's 3 males and 1 female that are participating, so that's awesome. The fire district is returning to in-person training now that all of the personnel have been vaccinated. So that's it for fire district.
Thank you. Mayor, alderperson, and staff reports. Lions Club's pancake breakfast, drive-through at Decoy Sunday. Other than that, I have nothing. Anybody have anything?
Tomorrow's Groundhog's Day. Let's hope for 6 weeks. Really? I mean, 6 weeks. That's a good thing, right? Only 6 more weeks of winter. We only have that.
If nobody has anything, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I just want Sunday, I just want to know.
I just want to ask a question. Why do we do the, when we talk about public works, why does that happen in finance and not here? because we're not all, I mean, someone, a member could miss that
Sure.
if they don't tune into finance,
Project updates.
project updates.
Oh, well, I can tell you the history of that agenda item, if it's helpful, is at one point there was a group of elected officials that wanted to have input on every change order on a project. And so it became then an agenda item to update the elected officials regarding modifications to approved projects. So it has now kind of evolved into a kind of a public works report, but its original intention was specific to having a really tight rein on change orders on construction projects.
Okay.
So that's the history, but now it looks different when you look at it to where it is, and I think it's a good.
Well, that looks, we were talking about snow at finance, like, well, we should hear that, you know, we want to hear that here too, in case
Right.
someone were to miss it.
Right, yeah, that wasn't the intention of that agenda item initially.
Oh, so is that something that if we want updates on snow removal or something like that, can that be put on council agenda or how does that work?
You control your agendas, you can do whatever you like.
If you want a staff report, if you want to ask questions under that item regarding staff, what went on, that would under staff reports, I assume within reason, we could have,
I think in place of it being on the finances, what I'm hearing, that we could.
project updates.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the snow report is not a project update.
No.
That's a departmental update,
Yeah,
and or a staff report of some sort.
sure.
Sure.
So I think it's just the project updates has expanded into, hey, what's going on?
Yeah. But Casey, you bring up a very good point. Maybe we should have, not that we're looking to elongate our meetings, but staff updates. And just doesn't mean everybody always has to report, but only if there's something, same with chief. Otherwise, we don't hear from
Have that
chief.
on- Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's staff.
Which could be covered under this item we're on right now.
right.
And I think we have in the past.
Yeah, we have.
Alderperson Braun here. I guess that the easy solution would be for Howard to just share whatever he shared in finance under the staff report agenda item, correct?
Correct.
Or we could hear from police chief too. I'd like to hear from him once in a while.
And I don't know how far we can go with this discussion right now without getting, is it part of the agenda?
I think it falls under staff reports.
Okay.
There's something to report.
Okay,
I mean, much of this information is your committees. When your department heads call their committees together, that's their job.
True. Very true, but you know, that's true, but when you, DPW, I suppose, you know, how often do they meet? I get utilities, but what about DPW?
Right, that's a good thing to talk about with your department heads.
Sure. Good.
okay, any other staff reports or?
Wouldn't it pay just to list, you know, when you got CDE, just put F, Public Works, E, Public Safety, and then we'd say, well, we didn't have a meeting or anything, but Howard, you got anything? Or we didn't have a meeting, but Chief, you want to talk about public safety, something like that.
I would be a little cautious on opening it up pretty wide without anything on the agenda on that, personally. I don't know if Bill, you want to weigh in on that, but I'd be a little concerned.
No, okay, just so covered under staff reports.
It is intended to be brief updates that aren't otherwise covered. It's not to be something substantive that the public might have an interest, otherwise we should provide notice.
Okay. Well, that's why I said if it was on the agenda, it would be a notice, but you wouldn't have to
Right,
open it up for
but the
anything.
expectation would be that they have
Input.
some specificity in what they were going to be reporting.
Okay. Well, don't open a can of worms. I get it. Chief, they don't want you to talk.
Okay, done with that then? We can look for this motion to adjourn.
You know where that's going.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Braun,
Yes.
Branke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Only until 5:30 Sunday. No.
Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes. Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.